Hi, this is Ian Westerman, head pro at EssentialTennis.com. Welcome to episode 19 of Ask Ian. And today we're going to be answering a question for Wesley Height, who wrote to me on YouTube and said, "Hi Ian, how can I improve my second serve? If my first serve doesn't make it in, I try and tone down my speed and end up with a pathetic second serve. Thanks." Wesley, this is an unbelievably common problem. And what you describe is exactly the opposite of what you should be doing. You do not want to slow down your swing on that second serve. But don't blame yourself. It's obviously incredibly tempting to do that because the pressure is on you to execute. You need to make that serve or else you just give away the points without even making your opponent hit a shot. So I totally understand where you're coming from and where thousands, hundreds of thousands of players are coming from when they go really slow on that second serve and they're careful and they just kind of tap it in. Now, there's two main elements that you must have in order to break away from that habit. Number one is you need racket head speed. You must maintain the acceleration of your swing. And number two is you need a correct spin serve racket path. Your technique needs to lead the racket along a path that creates spin, whether that be top spin or slice or maybe kind of a combination of each, number one. And then once you find that correct swing path, you need to accelerate the heck out of that racket so that you can make as much spin as possible. And this is crucial because the more spin you create, the more the ball curves. And the more the ball curves, the more margin for error you have. And so there becomes this amazing result where once you find the right racket path, the faster you swing, the safer the serve is. And that is exactly the opposite of what most tennis players feel. Most tennis players feel that the slower they swing, the safer it is. And that may be true to a certain extent. Well, great, you make it. But at what cost? You're just setting up the easiest possible shot for your opponent to try to start off the point in their advantage, in their favor. As the server, it should be the opposite. You should be the one with the advantage right from the get-go, since you have the advantage of serving. But when you have this attitude or you have this response of slowing down on the second serve, instead of actually speeding up, you give all the advantage to your opponent. Now, there's a couple of sub-elements here that we need to talk about. So, yes, we need to have the right path of the racket for spin, and we need to accelerate the racket as fast as possible. How do we accelerate the racket? It comes down to several things. It comes down to range of motion, and that means having a loose, flexible arm and shoulder. You need to have the physical flexibility to be able to lead the racket along a nice long swing path. And you have to have all the different technical elements that give you a long path with the racket. You also need to have power. You need to be able to accelerate the racket aggressively. And that comes from training your body. Flexibility as well comes from training your body. Without the flexibility and power, you just won't have the results that you should. You might feel like you're working really hard, and you may be working very hard to accelerate the racket, but without training your body, you won't get the acceleration that you really have the potential to have. So training is very important. And then lastly, you must also train yourself, not only to have the flexibility and the power, but to have the ability to stay relaxed and loose and fluid with your motion. You may have awesome flexibility and power, but if every time you try to use it, your body tenses up and you get tight, then you completely choke off your swing. And instead of the racket accelerating aggressively, you end up actually holding the racket back because of the tension in your body, the tension in your muscles. So all of those elements are incredibly important. Without training all of them and having all of them present, the acceleration, which again is length of swing, flexibility, power, and staying loose, and the correct path of racket, the direction of swing. Without all those things, you don't have the potential to hit as good of a second serve as possible. It doesn't mean that you can't still hit a good serve, but it's going to take a lot more effort and you're not going to get as much out of it. So those are the elements that you need in order to be successful with your second serve. Please stop slowing down on that second serve, Wesley. It's vital for your improvement as a tennis player. As long as you slow down every time you're in a pressure situation, you will, to a certain extent, become stuck and you will plateau at the level that you're at. So this is extremely important for you to work on. So if you've tuned in today, hopefully that's been helpful for you. And I also wanted to mention that I have a program, an online course that covers exactly this topic. It's called Max Serve Acceleration, and it's over 30 videos, step-by-step, how to train yourself for flexibility, for power, for looseness, and also how to swing the racket correctly to generate as much spin as possible on your serve so that you can swing faster, and get more margin for error instead of having to slow down to make it safe. Now, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I don't generally just make courses available. If you go to essentialtennis.com and look around, you won't find anything to buy, and that's by design for many reasons that I won't get into here. But especially for my YouTube followers and subscribers, I'm going to put a special link in the description of this video. It's not going to be posted anywhere else, just in the description of this video, right down below this video. And there'll be a link to where you can check out Max Serve Acceleration and sign up if it sounds like something that would be helpful to you. So with that, I'd like to thank you very much for your time and your attention today. I really appreciate it very much. Please do me a favor and click like if you've enjoyed this video, and also subscribe to my channel here on YouTube so that you don't miss out on any future lessons and episodes of Ask Ian. And if you have any comments or questions that you'd like me to answer in a future episode as well, leave that in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and good luck with your tennis.